Okay. Hey, my name is Eliza, and it's been a long time since I uploaded a video. Life is lifing, and I get exhausted from life, so I get unmotivated. Lots of ideas, but no motivation. Until now. I don't even know how to title this video, but hopefully I title it right because this is just like, it's crazy. I'm thinking about making a series. Well, I've been thinking about making a series of different times wrestling fans have pissed me off or annoyed me, or even like, it doesn't even have to be a wrestling thing, because today, as I'm recording this, I had a little thing that happened on Instagram that just like, it really doesn't make sense to me. But anyway, that's neither here or there. So this basically happened literally yesterday as I'm recording this, and I mean, it's been several hours. I mean, it's the next day since this happened, and I just have to talk about it because it's making me really upset and anxious, and I think it would be best to break it down here rather than on TikTok, because I don't think that would be a good idea, you know? So this is what happened yesterday. I am a wrestling fan. WWE, AEW, you name it. I had started getting more comfortable with making wrestling content, especially when it comes to criticizing the WWE and the fans. And a lot of the content I'm eating up is, it's okay to not like AEW, but you cannot consider yourself a wrestling fan if you only like WWE. Now, it's okay to say that AEW or other wrestling promotions are not your cup of tea, but if you're shitting on all of those places, especially when everybody but the WWE is professional wrestling and they are just wrestling entertainment, it's just like, to me, you're not a wrestling fan. You're not a real wrestling fan. I am no AEW casual watcher anymore. The last time I really locked in with watching AEW was when Adam Cole revealed that he was the one that was behind the MJF devil mask, and they had a fallout, you know. But I will defend AEW for a lot of things, and one of those things I will defend when it comes to AEW and who was in there is Mercedes Moné. Now, if you don't know who Mercedes Moné is, she was formerly known as Sasha Banks in the WWE, and she left the WWE in 2022 along with Naomi, who has returned to the WWE by now, but Mercedes left WWE because she was frustrated with creative direction and there was some unfair treatment in the company. So she left to find fulfillment somewhere else. She takes herself to New Japan Pro Wrestling in 2023 and had a run there, and she is now in AEW since 2024. People are crapping on Mercedes Moné because she is doing this belt collector run in AEW. Now, if you want my personal opinion, if it has to be anybody, Mercedes can pull off being a belt collector because she's one of the best women's wrestler of the modern era. She is one of the 4 horsewomen of wrestling alongside with Bayley, Becky Lynch, and Charlotte Flair for revolutionizing women's wrestling. Her character now is the CEO, so people are actually believing that when she said she had some creative control, it means that she's not losing matches because she's writing that in for her favor, you know. Despite Moné's claims, reports have questioned the extent of her creative control. Like, for example, Fightful Select reported that sources within both AEW and New Japan have never heard of her having creative control, and indicated that she hasn't refused to lose matches because such scenarios haven't been proposed. Sports Illustrated noted that representatives from AEW and New Japan consider Moné's public assertions of creative control to be largely in-character statements rather than actual reflections of the backstage influences. that's the context of what's going on next. I follow under 10 TikTokers that make wrestling content because I feel like a few people understand my takes, but I found a few people that I think make really good takes that agree with me, and this one creator made a video kind of shutting down the hate that Mercedes gets, which is what I'm here for. So here's the video because this guy explains it perfectly.
I think I found out why a lot of y'all hate Mercedes Moné. It's a very obvious reason. Because see, for the longest time, I thought, okay, you know what? She has all these belts from different companies. Y'all don't like that. Well, no, because y'all never bashed Kurt Angle, even though he was a belt collector as well for multiple different companies. Y'all loved RVD when he was the ECW champion and WWE champion. Some of y'all out there like Austin Aries, even though he's a belt collector for multiple different companies. So is Kenny Omega as well, and y'all love this man too. So then I started thinking, okay, well, it's not the multiple different belts. Maybe it's because she's a woman. Well, no, because y'all are praising Indy Hartwell right now, who got 3 belts within the span of a month and a half. And y'all love Stephanie Valker, who in the span of like a couple of months got the NXT North American Championship and the NXT Women's Championship, and was a belt collector before coming to NXT as well. So then I started thinking, well, what could it possibly be? There has to be some reason why y'all hate Mercedes Moné, but you don't hate any of these other people. And then it hit me. She don't look like these other people. She got melanated skin. Because you can't say Mercedes Hogan when these other wrestlers were all belt collectors for multiple different companies, some of those being top companies. Mind you, y'all are the same people that have said that New Japan is dead, so why would you even care if Mercedes Moné was winning a New Japan title? Y'all don't even watch Rev Pro, so why would you care if she's winning an indie title? But no, it's the melanated skin. Y'all hated that when she left. She talked about how WWE treated black women. Funny enough, though, before she even spoke up about this, y'all were saying that if she goes to AEW better use her right and better put her to the moon. But then once that came out, though, that's when y'all started doing all that hate. She has not been in the world title scene for AEW for an entire year now, and y'all are mad at the fact that she's holding multiple different titles from different companies when one of those is a mid-card belt. The New Japan Strongman's title was a mid-card belt that she lost, and the Rev Pro Undisputed belt, she literally got that like 2 months ago from Mina Shirakawa. So somebody in Rev Pro wasn't even holding that belt. So why are you mad at Mercedes for taking the belt for somebody that wasn't even in Rev Pro? Mind you, she was constantly defending the New Japan Strongman's belt, she was constantly defending the Rev Pro Undisputed belt, and she's constantly defended the TBS belt. This has been the only time period where she actually hadn't defended the belt, and mind you, she just defended the belt like 2 weeks ago. So the excuse of she doesn't defend the belt, well, she defends the belt more than every other belt collector ever has. So I've come to the realization that it's literally just because she's a black woman. That is all it is. That is all it ever will be. And there actually is a little bit of evidence backing y'all, a lot of y'all bigotry, because the fact that when Bianca, Rhea, and Io were feuding, even though Bianca Belair did absolutely nothing to be a heel, she started getting booed like she was a heel by y'all. Interesting. Y'all praise Tiffany Stratton and give her so much time and say, well, you know, she's still very young in her wrestling career, so she's not going to be the greatest, but she's working. But y'all constantly bash Jade Cargill every day. Y'all was hyping up Naomi until there was a possibility of her dethroning Tiffany Stratton, and now all y'all are saying that she does not deserve Money in the Bank. She does not deserve to be a women's champion because she's not better than Tiffany. And you can't say it's because she wins too much either, because over the span of 4 years, Roman Reigns lost 2 matches. From 2022 to 2025, Cody only lost 3 matches. Mercedes has already lost 3 in the span of a year. So yeah, no, y'all just hate black women.
So I truly believe that they hate Mercedes Moné because she is a black woman. And this isn't the first time I had stumbled upon this conclusion, but let's go to the things that got me upset. Because another moment that got Mercedes in hot water that rubbed me the wrong way was when WWE was trying to sign back Mercedes into the WWE in 2023. Reports have surfaced of her pursuit of a substantial contract. In fact, according to Fightful's recent episode of The Hump, industry insiders suggest that Moné's asking price surpasses even the notable deals secured by Charlotte Flair in her recent WWE contract extension. Fightful notes in a recent article, Fightful added some new information to the saga of Mercedes Moné, reporting that the star's asking price was above the figure that Charlotte Flair was paid in her new deal with WWE. Sean Ross Sapp did not say a number in regards to either Flair or Moné, but the money is up there, expected to be among the highest figure ever paid to a female wrestler. Now, Charlotte Flair is a woman that people do not like and hadn't liked for years because it is said that she abuses her nepotism to be given title shots. They still don't like her now. But during this moment, everyone was behind Charlotte. Everyone was comparing whether Mercedes is worth more than Charlotte, but the community were crapping on Mercedes to even place herself on the same level as Charlotte Flair, let alone more. But I thought you guys didn't like Charlotte. I still like Charlotte because I do believe she is the best women's wrestler in the modern era, or at least in WWE, but whenever you say something slightly positive about Charlotte Flair, even when it has to do with her wrestling, people will shit on you for liking a little aspect of Charlotte Flair. Which is crazy because people don't express that same energy with Logan Paul. Sure, he wrestles well for when he's asked to show up, but he is genuinely a shitty person. But anyway, that is neither here or there. So, for years and years, even up until now, people hated Charlotte Flair for who she is, but when Mercedes feels like she should be paid more than what she was given, and it just so happens to be more than Charlotte Flair, now you want to have Charlotte's back and hate Mercedes? That sounds like racism to me, because to me, it sounds like you don't like this white woman, but when a black woman wants to be on top, now that's a problem to you. That's what it sounds like to me, because I think Mercedes is phenomenal, so I think she deserves that price, in my opinion. The Four Horsewomen are very diverse. We got Charlotte, an American white woman, Becky, an Irish white woman, Bailey, a Mexican American, which people didn't know that she was Mexican, and Sasha, a black American. So even though these women are diverse, I feel like if it were Becky or Bailey, I don't think there would be the same outrage like Mercedes faced when it came to the pricing thing, but that's just me. So I wanted to add that fact to the allegations toward Mercedes Moné haters. I agreed with the racism take. So this is what I write. The way y'all hadn't liked Charlotte, and still don't, but when Mercedes felt like she was disrespected and should have been paid equal or better than Charlotte, then all of a sudden y'all are fans of Charlotte and shout on Mercedes. Now reading that back, I sound stupid. And I remember checking this comment a few times before I sent it, because I was like, this was not how I wanted to come off, but I thought people had media literacy and understood what I was trying to say, but that backfired. The fuck you talking about? That actually made me feel bad, because reading back, I shouldn't have used y'all. I meant y'all as in a general sense in the context of Mercedes haters, but I can see why many people thought I meant I was against this OP. Rereading this, I see how this didn't make an ounce of sense, but that's not what made me upset. It was this next part. One pet peeve of mine is when wrestling fans feel like wrestling shouldn't be political, or any real world issues shouldn't be discussed in wrestling, because these issues happen everywhere and it matters. So I found a comment that said, "Bro went to race," a comment clearly stating that it's not a race thing, but the OP clearly broke down every situation that it could be and debunked those ideas which led to race. So then I write, it's bot ridiculous to say that. I clearly meant to say not, and the reply was referencing this sound I heard on TikTok.
I haven't really thought about where I got Kobe, but Kobe's not as high on my list as people really think he should be. I'm not even sure he's on the top 5 of the all-time greatest Lakers, bro.
That's not ridiculous. That's not ridiculous to say that. That's not ridiculous. That's not ridiculous to say that.
And in the context of what the reference is referring to, I see where the issue is, but I was trying to say it's not ridiculous to point out race issues like this, because this person was denying that this could be a race issue, and it is making everything doesn't have to be about race remark, And not even like a minute, OP says, another racist white woman, lol, I got it. At first I thought it wasn't about me because I'm not white. Listen, I know that's hard to believe, because just like how most of y'all didn't know Bailey was Mexican, I'm also Mexican. I just have light skin. And in my opinion, I don't think my features really show that I am Latino, but I am. My last name may not be Gonzalez, Rodriguez, Guerrero, Perez, Hernandez, since those are the only Latino names y'all know, but mine is common, but not really. In my whole class of 500 something students when I graduated, there was only 4 people who shared the same last name as me, and they were not related to me at all. And I live in Laredo, Texas, like Roxanne Perez and Laredo Kid, so we are a huge Mexican Latino community. Hell, even white people are a minority here. The only issue is that my parents, though they are Mexican American too, they didn't want to teach us Spanish because they believed that since we are in the USA, we should speak English and only English. My entire family is fluent in Spanish except for me and my siblings, so I don't really speak Spanish, and if I do, I have an accent. That's what you call a no sabo here, when you are Latino by blood but cannot speak Spanish. So without learning the Spanish language, I have white skin, and my features aren't as strong like other girls or Latino people. People of my community mistake me as white or would just call me gringa. Especially since I am alternative, they say it's like white people music, which is just farther from the truth. But for the first time, someone who isn't Latino actually tells me that they think I'm white. Because a lot of my friends would say that I'm like white or American because I have light skin or I cannot speak Spanish. But these are a lot of Latino people who just keeps like dividing and dividing. I never got a opinion from a non-Latino person. So I always wondered, like, if I went to a white like part of Texas or something, would they think I'm one of them, or would they know that I'm like Latino too? Anyway, now when I say I'm not white, I mean like American white, or like MAGA, or white without Latino heritage, because Latinos are considered white, but because there isn't a race for us, but we aren't white, you know? So that's what I mean. But OP was calling me a white woman, and that took me a while to understand that he was talking about me. But the fact that he called me racist was more upsetting to me than being called white. So frantically I tried to explain what I had meant with this comment, saying that I'm with OP by calling out the race thing. I'm not with the person that's complaining about it. No response. So I go back to the other comment to explain what I had meant, because I understood that it was just written poorly, but I feel like I didn't redeem myself. When I said I talked to someone else about it, it was because I have commented this exact context to another creator. So I scrolled through all of my reposts and I stopped here. April 15th. This creator said the exact same thing with defending Mercedes. I mean, she recently got noticed and reposted by Mercedes herself. I look in the comments, but my comment wasn't there. But I saw bro here though. I know all of the people who follow me or I follow isn't gonna recognize my face or my username when I repost something, but in my head I'm like, you see me here. I have been thinking about this for a while too. But that's not the video I was looking for, so I kept scrolling and I found it. April 27th. This creator also speaks out about the blatant racism disguised as hate or criticism when it comes to Moné, and I comment, like, people hate on Charlotte, but when Mercedes said she felt like she should be paid more, or at least equal to her, people all of a sudden are on Charlotte's back. That never set right with me. 7 likes. And I got a response by the OP of that video agreeing with me. So that's why I thought this new OP would understand what I was trying to get at. But granted, the comment on April was much more clear to understand, and I didn't quite remember what I said at the time, so I tried my best to say the same thing, and it just did not go well. Now, I said my pieces, and I'm over here like I hope he responds and apologizes for the mix-up, but he never did, and it got me spiraling because I know how the fucking internet works. If they, aka the internet, sees someone calling me racist, the internet will do its thing and I lose my platform that I've been trying so hard to build up. I genuinely like his wrestling takes, and I'm glad me, him, and another girl are mutuals because I like all of their takes. But to me, he hasn't replied, which means he still thinks I'm racist. Now, I wanted to check on his page again, and it turns out I'm not following him. I don't know if it's like Instagram where you can have the person unfollow you. Like, you can unfollow the person from their end, you know, if that makes sense. But I thought I did follow him, and I'm not sure if I actually never followed him, but I'm not blocked either, that's for sure. Not only am I upset about the racism accusations, but they were so quick to accuse me as such, and I was so quick to try to explain what I meant, but no response after. Like, I get that people have lives, and they don't sit on their phones all day, but you were so quick to call me a racist, but you cannot be like, oh, I get you now, I'm sorry. Or say, no, I still think you're a racist. so I could make a video or something to help my case. For a second, I thought they might have meant the person who commented the whole race thing first was the white lady in question, but no, it wasn't. So yep, it was definitely me they were talking to. I was spiraling and in my head a lot, and I was wondering, do I comment more? Do I DM to clear the air? Do I make a video where I bring this to his attention? But I didn't, and that's why I'm here. I didn't want to start anything like Dramageddon or something. And I don't want to be annoying, because then it would look like I'm flooding this black man to say, prove I'm not racist. Because that's annoying, and that adds to the black fatigue. And I mean the real definition of black fatigue, not how MAGA people turned it to being tired of black people. No. Like, if I had tried hard to prove my point like this, it looks almost performative, and my goal in life is to stick up for what's right and have it not look performative. I really want to make a difference in the world, so that's why it bothered me so much to be labeled as this and then not have any confirmation of whether they still think this way when I'm trying to promote anti-racist views, especially in the wrestling sphere. It's easy to say something like, well, at least you know you weren't being racist, that's all that matters. But when people say, I know I'm not racist, that's what racist people say. Like, that sounds ignorant and or arrogant. For goodness sake, I was agreeing with him, not the opposite. He just came out wrong, and I'm upset that's what stirred this pot. Now, this makes me want to not talk about real issues like this with wrestling anymore. I know some people are like, and we cheered, but like, I think it's important. I mean, I didn't get to talk about my dissatisfaction with this MAGA company partnering with AAA, the Mexican Lucha Libre company, and making a gimmick that mocks Lucha Libre like El Grande Americano. And I'm Latino and Mexican, so I can talk about this. It just sucks that I fumbled on this one. So, no more wrestling content from me for a while, I guess. And I had so many ideas. Oh well. Thank you for listening, and if someone sees this, like, tell me what you think. Am I okay? Like, should I feel bad, or am I kind of like overreacting?